Sergei Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall for the heavyweight interim title. We got Jiri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira for the light heavyweight title. We have UFC 295 tomorrow, a big event, one of the biggest events of the year. We're going to give a full breakdown of the main event, co-main, all the fights. Hey guys, welcome to the False Nine Podcast here with episode 177. Yup, 177 episodes. It's crazy. But guys, we have UFC 295 tomorrow, a very exciting event. And that's all we're talking about today. We're going to give our predictions, our breakdowns, our thoughts, our feelings, or whatever. We're just going to talk all about it. And I hope, you guys are as excited as I am. And I am wearing my Charles Oliveira shirt. It's the closest I could get to an Alex Pereira shirt right now. I tried to buy one earlier this week, but they were all sold out my size. The ones I liked, at least. So, now I'm trying to think of anything exciting that's going on this week besides the fight. And, we just had the UFC announcements for, I think, 97, 98, and 99. And I did make a YouTube video about that. So, I'll, either include it later on this episode at the end or, just have a link below. But guys, listen, we'll get right into it. The first fight, we have Diego Lopes versus Pat Sabatini. I'm sorry if I pronounced her name wrong. I'm not too familiar with Pat. I am a fan of Diego Lopes. I've been following him for probably a year. I think it's ever since the first Alexa Grasso fight. I want to say that he was on that same card, if I'm not mistaken. So this is going to be my third time or fourth time watching him. And he's exciting. Diego Lopes is a very exciting guy, and he's very good, staying up. He's an amazing grappler. So I think this is a fight for him to kind of just take another stepping stone into the division and, kind of gain some more popularity. This is his journey. This is his road. And I think that's what this fight is. I think it's going to be an early stoppage, whether it's round one. I really think it's going to be round one. If it goes to round two, I think it'll be round two, but I don't see this fight going 3 rounds. Diego Lopes, to me, is going to be a big name and a very big threat in the division, featherweight division. So, it'll be a good fight for him as long as it's entertaining, to get started for the main event at Madison Square Garden in New York. So, yeah, very exciting fight. Nothing really much to say. Like I said, it's going to be, to me, one-sided fight, and it'll go to Diego Lopes. Now, I'm not going to speak about this fight because I have no idea about these guys. No offense to them. It's Matt Favola versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Lightweight title. I'll watch it. I'm sure it'll be a banger, but I'm just not too familiar with these guys. And then we have Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern. I am excited, not because it's going to be a good matchup. It is going to be a good fight, but, I find it hard to kind of believe or understand how Jessica Andrade is on this fight card, because if she wasn't co-main, she was the main fight for when she lost to Tatiana. I remember watching that fight, and Tatiana just fucking, not muled her, but dominated her and then subbed her, kind of in Jessica's own strengths, and it was very impressive for Tatiana. Hey guys, I just want to quickly interrupt this episode. This is not a sponsorship, but I do have an affiliate link with Entertainment Earth. I just received my 2 Funko Pops that I ordered. It took about 10 business days. I got me a nice Spider-Man. I got me a nice Venom. They have a variety of collectible items, not just Funko Pops, but they have a lot of Funko Pops too, if that's something that you may like. And if you order using our link, the affiliate link, you get a nice 10% off. Just make sure you check the link on the description, or I'll have a nice card somewhere around the screen. Let's get back to the episode. And I just would expect, someone like Tatiana to face Mackenzie. But it seems like this fight's for Mackenzie, for her to, beat Jessica and then take the next step to get closer to a title shot. But I think it's a very good matchup stylistically. I don't know how it'll play out for Mackenzie, because I know she's a little bit smaller than Jessica. Jessica's more like a stocky build, so it'll be interesting matchup. I would like to think that Mackenzie's going to take the win on this one. I do think it is going to be a brawl between these two fighters. But I'm a little just not annoyed, but I'm just like, dang, like how is she this card, when she just lost, at a co-main or main event against Tatiana Suarez. So, just mixed emotions about how she got in that position. And maybe I'm missing some information. Maybe somebody pulled out or something like that. I don't know. But they're both Brazilian, and I'm sure it'll be a friendly war, between the two fighters. But again, very excited for this fight. And I just want to see a banger, between these two fighters. And just, whoever gets, for Mackenzie, if she does get the win, like I said, it'll be a next step or like a stepping stone for her. If Jessica gets the win, it'll be kind of like a rebound for her, and, she can go and do her thing. So then, now we're going to spend some time talking about these two main fights because clearly, I'm a huge fan of these. Not even like Pavlovich. Not that I'm a fan, but I've been following him for a minute, and I'm just like, man, that guy just keeps shredding. He keeps killing it. He keeps going hard. And I'm talking about, and then we got Tom Aspinall, where we have Sergei Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall for the co-main for the interim heavyweight title, and it's weird. I'm gonna be real. Like when I first heard about it, I was like, "This is weird." I wanted to see this type of fight, but with a full camp. With these guys both ready, both healthy, both ready to go. And it like I mentioned a few weeks ago when this got announced, and John Jones was hurt. I really do think, if both guys are healthy, it's just a 50-50 fight, and I think it just comes down to who has a healthier lifestyle, because I do think Tom could beat Sergei Pavlovich, and I do think Tom could be the heavyweight champion, whether that's tomorrow or in a year or in a few months from now. Pavlovich, same thing. I can see him being champion or interim champion tomorrow, and then I can see him being like undisputed champion, whether that's 6 months from now, 3 months, or a year from now. I can see the same picture or the same kind of journey for both guys. And I can see both guys just like being dominant in that division, having a crazy rivalry. If that does happen, I can see that happen between these two guys because they both have their strengths and their weaknesses, and their strengths are strong, for either guy. And, like I said, I just feel like it comes down to who has the better lifestyle, who was living a healthier lifestyle before they got the call to fight for the co-main. And I want to see Tom Aspinall become interim and then become the heavyweight champion. And at the same time, I'm like, Sergei Pavlovich, he is him, bro. Like, he knocks people out. And he makes it look like nothing. And it's crazy that he can do that, So to kind of give a background between the two guys before I really kind of get into the fight and how I think it's going to go. Sergei Pavlovich, as we know, crazy. I don't know what his streak is right now on knockouts. I want to say it's 6 or something like that. But, just shredding people up, just boom, boom, hitting them, piecing them up. And just putting them to sleep. And that just got to tell you one thing. Like, he has hands, and he has heavy, heavy hands. So and for Tom, you don't want to get caught, right? And luckily for Tom, he's agile. His movement is amazing. And we'll talk about Tom in a second. I don't want to get caught up too much. But, and that's Sergei Pavlovich. He's just knocking people out like crazy. And to me, that's the definition of a real, boogeyman. So let me go over just Pavlovich's recent fights. KO'd Curtis Blades like nothing in the first round. KO'd Tai Tuivasa in the first round. KO'd Derek Lewis in the first round. KO'd Shamal, I don't know how to say that last name, in the first round. And that's in 2022. And then he didn't have a fight in 2021. And then in 2019, he had a KO first round, and then he had another KO against Marcelo. So was it? Wow, damn! This guy's crazy, bro. Wait, did he lose that fight? Yeah, he lost that fight. I remember that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think it's 6. It's 6 knockouts in a row in the first round. Homie hasn't seen the second round in his whole UFC career. That's insane. And in the first fight, he got, TKO'd. And ever since then, he's been on fire. Now, there can be, its pros and its cons because this is a 5-round fight. And he hasn't gone to the second round his whole UFC career. So if I'm Tom's coach, hey, we know what we got to do, bro. We taking this shit to second, third round. If we got to the fourth and the fifth, if you talk about it, because you're going to put Pavlovich in a position, one, that he's never been in, right? You're coming off a 2-week camp, so you know his cardio is not the best. You guys are heavyweights, so cardio, again, depending on your lifestyle, depends how good your cardio is. And then, that's pretty much it, right? So that's the cons, I guess, of getting these first round knockouts, and that also goes to show you that Pavlovich is very, very, very aggressive. So that's Sergei Pavlovich. Now for Tom Aspinall, his I want to say his time in the UFC hasn't been too consistent, and I only say that because of his injury. But he came in, not the same kind of story, but very similar. Kind of just started, I can't remember the last time. I don't think he's lost in the UFC except for that fight against Curtis Blades where he got hurt. So he beat someone earlier this year, Mason Taibura. Lost to Curtis Blades. He got hurt. He beat Volkov in the first round with the sub. That's last year. He beat Sergei Spivak, which I'm a low-key fan of Sergei Spivak. He's a crazy boy. He beat him KO in the first round. Then he got another sub in the second against Andrade. That's in 21. And then he had 2 wins in 2020. So he's also been pretty on fire since he's got on the UFC, except for that injury. And that's where I'm just like, damn, that injury, you're coming off 2 weeks, depending on how healthy you are. He looks healthy. He looks great. I'm just like, damn, bro. Like the fact that, Pavlovich has been on this crazy run, and then you were on a run, you got hurt, and now you got a nice win earlier this year, and now you're facing like the other best guy in the division, that's not John Jones, if I'm being honest. So it's just like, damn, but what does Tom do great? I mean, his movement is he moves insane, and his coaches say it, and it was on the fucking embedded. And I've been knowing this since when he got hurt from Curtis. I was so excited for that fight, but he got hurt, whatever, and I don't know, man. His movement it's crazy that he can move the way he can, and I just hope he can get caught against Pavlovich. And we've seen him. He got the hands. He got the ground game. He has it all. He's all around amazing. Now, we just haven't seen him in a very difficult situation. Like we haven't seen him in a tough, really tough situation. And same thing with Pavlovich. Now we're going to talk about a little bit of the fight now. That both of these guys haven't been in very, very difficult situations where they have to dig in deep and kind of, beat some form of adversity even between themselves. For Pavlovich, getting the knockouts, and for Tom, getting the finishes as well, whether it's a knockout or a sub, he's been finishing people. I don't think he hasn't been to a decision, if I'm not mistaken. I just ran through them real quick, but most of his wins have been, finishes, not decisions. And both of these guys are just on this crazy run in this streak. But I would say the more consistent fighter is Pavlovich, because he's been, 6 wins, 6 knockouts in the first round. For Tom Aspinall, he has the wins, not in a row because he got hurt, but wins, finishes, but he got hurt, and and that's just it. Like, it's just the fact that he got hurt, and that's where it gets me. Now, I want Tom to win, I really do, but if I'm being honest, Pavlovich should win this fight, but Tom can pull it off, and I think he can pull it off by taking Pavlovich into deep waters. Honestly, I think the moment this fight goes to round 3, if it does, it's all Tom's fight from there. If he's healthy, right? If he's healthy. If he's not, he'll just get caught and he's going to get knocked out, right? So, and I see Tom getting the job done. I don't know if it'll be a knockout or decision if Tom gets it done. But if it goes after round 3, I think Tom does get it done. I really do. Now, and for Tom, like, bro, all you got to do is survive round 1 and 2, which is asking for a lot from a guy who's been knocking out other guys in the first round. And for Pavlovich, I mean, you just got to keep doing what you've been doing, And again, we just don't know how good this cardio is. We just haven't seen these guys in round 3, round 4, round 5 fights. We haven't seen it, so we don't know. And that's what makes this fight so exciting, if I'm being honest. And it's just one of those fights, man. It's like a 50-50, 51-49. Like, it's going to be close. And maybe Pavlovich just knocks him out in the first round. That shit can happen too, man. It really could, or Tom could do that. No, I don't see Tom getting the knockout round 1. I'm sorry, I don't. But I can see Pavlovich doing it. He has that power. I don't think he will, but he could do it. And he could do it in the second round too. But again, if it goes after round 3, it's Tom's. And, if Pavlovich can get it in 1 or 2, I mean, it's going to be his fight. But like I said, man, it gets to round 3, that's a wrap. So that's how I think the fight's going to go. I want Tom to win. I'm going to be rooting for Tom. I'm sorry. But Pavlovich is a scary guy, man. And I've been watching him fight for him. I mean, like, one of those fighters that I don't know why, but I just keep watching him. And it's not like I try to watch Pavlovich. It's just like he's just fighting so much. And he's on these cards where I want to see the main event or this other fighter. He just happens to be there. And I've just been watching him for a minute. So the dude's nice. All right, that's the co-main. That's just the co-main. And dude, anxiety levels, sweaty hands, stress, like all the emotions, man. All the emotions are especially if that co-main goes to 4 rounds, even 3 rounds. Dude, I'm gonna be tweaking. Like, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, like, this is insane type thing, right? And then we have the main event, and I feel like I'm gonna hurt some people's feelings on this part of the show because I'm about to get like real rough. Not even real rough, but like just real honest on how I feel about the fight. But we have Jiri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira, the Brazilian Hall of Famer for Glory Kickboxing, if I'm not mistaken, if I said that correctly. So congrats to him. This was not supposed to be the main event. This is supposed to be co-main, for, I think they were just like fighting for a contender or whatever. But from my understanding, and I still really can't confirm, but if I'm not mistaken, this is for the light heavyweight title. I swear, maybe I just never knew, but I didn't think this was going to be for the title till like a week ago. And then I had a double check right now on my phone, and I'm like, okay, it says for the title fight. So, we're getting a title fight. And it's for the light heavyweight title. And it's been vacant. Jiri had to vacate the title, and then Jamal Hill had to vacate the title. So, that's that. And then let's talk about, both of these guys right in their journey. I'm very familiar with Alex Pereira, so I'll start off with Jiri. I don't know too much about Jiri, and that's kind of what I want to speak about a little bit. So, Jiri became champion against Glover Teixeira, and oh man, what happened? Okay, yeah. So he went into a crazy fight against Glover, and I forgot what I was doing this day, and this was COVID time, so like UFC, I was like watching it. But then some fights, I just had no idea were happening. It was weird times, right? And my mind and the things I was doing I was doing podcasts, but not like this, right? So I didn't know this fight was happening. So then I see, like, I think on TikTok Live or something like that, and I'm like, oh shit, like this fight looked crazy. It's a championship fight. They're already in like round 3. Like, let's go. So I'll go and start watching the fight, and I mean, part of 3, 4, 5 was a crazy war between the guys, and we all know, Jiri got the win, got the sub, got it done, and I was shocked, and then also impressed, but I didn't really know who these guys were. Like, if I'm being honest, at the time, I really wasn't too sure who Glover was. I wasn't too sure who Jiri Prochazka was. So, I just wasn't sure. And I'm pretty sure I'm saying Yuri's last name wrong, so I'm sorry about that. And then, Jiri gets hurt. And then we have Glover, Jamal Hill fight, and Jamal just pieced up Glover. And that made me question a lot. Like, if I'm being honest, that made me question a lot. I saw a little bit about Yuri's highlights today. I saw the people he's fought. I did a little bit of research on Jiri, if I'm being real. And I am not impressed. I'm sorry. I'm sure he's a great fighter. I'm sure he's a beast. But I was not impressed. And the fact that Jamal Hill made Glover look like that, I was like, obviously there are 2 different versions of Glover. That was Glover's last fight. But Jamal Hill got it done in Brazil. Like, so it just makes me question how, like, was that just a war between Jiri and Glover, or was it really just a hard fight, And I want to think it was just a war between the 2 guys. Like, stylistically, it was just a really, really good fight, and both fighters, were at the same level as far as skill set. And then, we had the Jamal fight, and Jamal just made Glover look like nothing. And I think Jamal would have done the same thing to Jiri. I'm sorry, but and Jamal's I like Jamal. Like, Jamal Hills, I like him. I follow him, and I want him to come back and be champion. But he's a little corny sometimes. So, but it's all love, Jamal. And I think Jamal would make easy work of Jiri. I'm just keeping it a buck with you guys. I don't see why people think that he's that good. I don't see why people think like he's like the shit, right? Like this crazy fighter. I can understand why people think like, I'm going to say Charles, I'm going to say Volkanovski, I'm going to say Islam, I'm going to say John Jones, I'm going to say Alex Pereira. I understand why some people would like believe like, oh, like that guy's like fucking the shit. Like, he's good. Like, I can see why those names, like, oh, like he's the shit, he's a beast, he's the GOAT. When we talk about Jiri and the people he's fought and the fights that he's been in, I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know. So, I don't think Yuri's that good. I'm like I said, I don't think he's that good. The people, like the MMA community, or the media have built this character around this samurai character, which is pretty cool, but build this samurai character around Jiri, and then like kind of pretended or created this like that Yuri's this, like he's this type of fighter, like he's this good. And I'm like, bro, how? Like, where? And now, again, I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just, speaking from like how I see it, and like me being real, and I think I'm being real. So, all right, let's talk about Alex Pereira. If you guys, I mean, you kind of have an idea of what I think how these fights going to go, just because of what I just said about Jiri. But Alex Pereira, he is a crazy, and I'm not trying to like ride this dude's whatever. I'm not trying to be like, oh, like Alex this, Alex that. But what he's done is in the UFC itself is so impressive. And it's crazy how crazy he just blew up, and it was all because of the rivalry and the storyline behind Izzy. And if I'm Izzy, I would be so happy for Alex. Like, I'm being honest. I know like they have, their drama or their beef, but I'm like, bro, like the fact that you guys had the rivalry and glory, and then now in the UFC, and both of you guys got a nice and a nasty win against each other. And for Izzy, being the dominant champ, got his belt back, give me that shit back, you know what I'm saying? And then for Alex, was like, all right, GG's, I'm going to move up. I can't do this weight cut no more. I'm a fan of Alex, if I'm Izzy. So I just want to, I think that's just pretty cool that they have that rivalry. And, Alex Pereira has to give a little bit of credit to Izzy for, kind of helping him out, blow up. And I'm not saying that he made his career, but, if that storyline wasn't there, we don't know if Alex Pereira is possibly, where he is now. So comes into the UFC, knocking people the fuck out, knocked out Sean Strickland like nothing. And Sean Strickland being the champion now. He goes and beats Izzy, knocks Izzy out in the 5th round. So he's been in these fights, 5th round fights, and then he got knocked out by Izzy. I don't know if it was in the 1st or 2nd or 3rd, if I'm being honest. I don't remember, but he got knocked out. And then he decided to move up. He fought Jan Blachowicz. That fight was in altitude for 3 rounds, and now he's fine. He beat Jan. And a very close decision. A lot of people have mixed emotions. I think that maybe that fight was a draw, to be honest with you. But, whatever. It is what it is. Jan had his chances. And even the fight before, he was fighting for a title. So, Alex now is coming into a fight against probably his easiest opponent. And I mean that, like his easiest opponent. Think about it. He fought Sean Strickland, and we know who Sean is. He beats arguably the best fighter ever, which is Israel Adesanya. And I say arguably because he's definitely top 5 ever. And then he beats Jan, who was champion at one point and fought for the title. Reached his fight prior. Now he's fighting Jiri Prochazka. And I'm like, bro, this is going to be your easiest fight. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. Compared to who's Izzy's fought, Sean's fought, and then Jan, like those people he's fought, like, bro, this is going to be, I mean, it's going to, I don't see this fight being close. I'm sorry. I like the little, we got a samurai versus this tribal Brazilian, but that's cool. That's neat. That's cute, whatever. But when we talk about, the wars, the fights, the skill set of Alex Pereira and what he's done to his opponents, I'm just like, bro, it's not even close against Jiri. And I know a lot of people are rooting for Jiri and this and that, and I get it. But man, Alex Pereira is a scary, scary man. A scary guy, bro. I mean, he can kick you, he can knee you, he can knock you out with this. He's just a beast, and he showed that he can, defend somewhat the takedowns against Jan. And Jan's not like, oh, I'll just take you down. Jan's a really good wrestler. And they were in altitude. So both of these guys are already drained, tired, during the fight. And to defend the takedowns and throw the punches that he threw and the kicks that he threw in the late round, I was just blown away by Alex to have that cardio. Because when he fought Izzy the first time, when he fought Izzy the first time, you start to see him slow down. Izzy took him to the ground. But, I just think the moment was too much for Alex, and then he kind of just became his own element and did what he did. And ever since then, I think Alex has been a more confident, comfortable fighter, especially after that Jan fight. Like, that Jan fight, it's underrated because, again, Jan Blachowicz is not a fucking slouch, bro. He used to be the light heavyweight champ, and he's one of the best wrestlers in that division. And he went toe-to-toe with, I can't say his name. I want to say Ankalaev. He went toe-to-toe with him, and Ankalaev, I think, should have won that fight. But that's Jan Blachowicz. And I kind of feel bad for Jan because he's still an elite fighter. And I think after Jiri loses, because he's going to lose, I think Jan and Jiri need to happen. But Alex, and again, I'm not trying to I'm an Alex fan. I am a fan of Alex, but I'm not like, oh, I hope he wins. But I'm just like keeping it real. That fight's not going to be close. It's not going to be close. And I just see a patient Alex Pereira baiting this, samurai, or what we call samurai fighter, and he's just going to catch Jiri leaping, overstepping, overdoing it, overreaching. That's how he's going to catch Jiri. Yuri's going to try and do too much. He's going to try and live up to this character that social media and his fans have built him to be. And Alex is going to hit him with fucking reality and knock him out. Nasty, clean. It's going to happen in the later rounds. And I say later rounds, 3, 4, 5. But that's what's going to happen. Alex, we'll see. We'll have a patient Alex, and he's going to catch him. And I think that's how the fight's going to go. And that's why I don't have too much to say about like the fight itself. Because like I said, it's not going to be close, and he's going to get caught. So I may sound crazy and I might get blasted after Saturday night, but that, if I'm being real, that barely happens. When I got blasted, only when I fucking went against Islam on a 10 days notice. I'm never doing that shit again. On any fighter going on notice. So those are my predictions. That's my breakdown. That's my preview. Let me know if I miss anything. This episode is coming on Friday, a day before the fight. I want to see all the comments. I want to see all the debates. I want to fucking go back and forth with you guys. And I just want to know, right? And the whole card, talk to me about Diego Lopes, about Andrade or Mackenzie Dern. I think I already said Diego Lopes, Tom Aspinall. I want to hear about all these guys. And I want to know your thoughts about all these guys and all these fighters. And if in the video there is a small segment about the affiliate, link that I have about the collectibles, guys, it would mean a lot to me if you did click that link. And if you wanted to, only if you want to buy something, and I just get a small percentage of that, you get a small discount when you purchase, and it would just mean a lot to the channel. We want to grow. We also want to monetize to do more with the channel. And, whether it's equipment or sound or editing tools or cameras or just any essentials that we need for the pod, that's what that's for. I really would appreciate it. If not, a like and share would mean a lot to me as well. And if you're viewing this, that means a lot to me too. I'll see you guys on the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed UFC 295. It's going to be a fucking banger. Peace.